So again, rather than try to learn reporting verbs one at a time and think about what each one means, it's more effective to just learn the categories that we can put reporting verbs into and how each category can be used. And we're going to look at three categories. Here's the first one: public or private. Now, if we say that a reporting verb is public, we mean that the speech we're reporting has actually been said or written, and that it's observable in some way. So let's look at an example here. Here's your reporting verb: stated. Kanazawa stated. And here's what he stated: all men are essentially the same, so be they scientists, criminals, artists, musicians, and writers. These exact words came out of his mouth during an interview, and if you were the interviewer or listening to the interview, you would have heard those exact words. That's what we mean by public. With private, we mean that only an inner intellectual state is being reported, as opposed to someone's precise words. Now, we take a look. Believes. That's a private reporting verb. Kanazawa believes, and here's what we're reporting: marriage dampens genius as men become less interested in impressing women through their accomplishments and more invested in child rearing. Now, these exact words did not come out of Kanazawa's mouth. That's just kind of what's going on in his head. So, look, this might be a confusing distinction between public, like state, or private, like believe. So here's another way to think about it. Here are some tests we can do. So, public, we're talking about speech acts that we do with our hands or our mouths. Like you can write something, you can note something, you can scribble something, and all of these are reporting verbs, and they're all public, right? Same for the things that you might do with your mouth, like say, yell, or exclaim. All right. All of these are public, but also they're all observable. If you write something down, somebody can see what you wrote. If you say something, people can hear you say it, right? And that's the distinction between private. I mean, look at this picture here. If this guy says something, that's public, and she can hear it. But the stuff that's going on in his head, thinking, well, that's different, right? Private speech acts. These are the things we do with our minds: believe, think, understand. And she may not know what he's thinking, or she might be able to figure it out. She may know what he's thinking, but the key here is that she has to infer that. All right. So here's how this comes into use in our writing. We often quote authors. Well, one thing that is very strange is to introduce a quote with a private reporting verb, like Kanazawa believes, and then we get a direct quote. He does more than believe that. He went out and said it, right? So this is a good, when we're quoting people, this is a good time to use a public reporting verb. But, if we're paraphrasing people and just kind of, trying to explain in our own words what they, think or whatever, that's when private reporting verbs like think are particularly useful.